extraordinary golf and that. Congratulations on the win. Paige, one for you, and Aaliyah, one for you if I could. Paige, you had to figure out kind of in real time what the offensive shape of your game should be, when to defer, when to score. Do you feel as if today you got closer, or do you feel like you have an understanding of where it needs to be with this group?
No, I think it differentiates every game, the matchups, we're playing, how we're playing. And I think just that we're all still trying to figure out how to play together as a basketball team. And get sort of a chemistry within each other. We're all just trying to figure out how to be the best in our roles that we can be every single night, and staying consistent in that, whether it's I'm taking 5 shots or I'm taking 20 shots. So just continue to play my game, play our game on both sides of the floor is what we're really focused on.
Thank you. And Aaliyah, just in terms of being able to find your offensive game tonight, we know it was obviously a very physical game. Did this feel like you had found a comfort level, let's say, in terms of the role that you are taking out for this team now as you guys are figuring everything out?
Yeah, I mean, similar to what Paige said, just about playing together. I think individually first half I was more just focused on rebounding, and I think that we need more of this work from myself, my team lead, and this work from me. But it wasn't just me, it was everybody just contributing and everybody getting stops on the defensive end, so it led to our transition offense. So I think that once we came out there with that type of energy, that type of mindset, it really pushed to going back to how we know how to play.
Thank you.
Just to sort of follow up on that, as the editor of the defense, increasingly has a lot of young players in the system as they're in a top league like this, how are you trying to sort of take on a little more leadership, given how that's going to look on the fly?
Yeah, as I said, I think defensively we had a big task, and it wasn't even, I mean, they're a good team, but it also came within us. There's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of things that Coach wanted us to get done defensively, so communication was a big part of that tonight, and I think that really helped us bring the lead and hold on to the lead and then overall win the game. So I think that moving forward, just focusing on our communication on defense, so we get stops, get more possession of offense, and go to our transition of offense game.
Let's talk about the footballs. Do you rather you or Paige rather than know your own stance?
I mean, Paige probably at this point like 8 feet, like 4 blocks. So.
And I just lastly, I know it's the middle of the season, and I'm sure there's a lot of things going on. Just want because I know the problems this grass. Have you put any consideration yet as to what your plans are after the season?
No, we're living in the moment, just utilizing this time that I have with my team right now, and what we're focused on for this season, and then worry about what I need to worry about after the season.
Paige, it looked like you just had a lot of passion and energy out there today. You were all over the place defensively. Did this game feel any different, or did you approach it any differently, especially on that end of the floor?
I think I've had a lot going on just mentally, stressing myself. I think today I try to get back to having fun playing the game of basketball. And just competing, having fun competing, that's what I love to do. And a lot of times I feel like I overthink and I'm still trying to find my flow and still trying to figure out what the team needs. But I feel like when I'm playing aggressive on defense, that's when I play my best. And that's when my passion shows the most, when I'm flying around and steals, deflections, blocks. But I think just doing whatever the team needs, and I felt like I need to have a huge defensive presence in the game tonight. So overall, the focus coming to this game was just to have fun and compete and play Paige Bueckers basketball, play UConn basketball.
Paige, you tied Maya Moore's max capacity to reach 1,000 career points. Did you know you were close to that benchmark heading into today? Or did you try to have the kind of shoot it?
I think I saw something the other day, a couple games back, that I was getting close to that 1,000-point mark. It's really surreal and cool to be in the same space as Maya, just because she's like one of the goats. Somebody I look up to, especially being in Minnesota, watching the Lakes, seeing her play growing up. But like I said, it's just a testament to my coaching staff, my teammates, and how much they do for me, how much they scream for me, how much they get me open, and the belief that they have in me on the offensive end. And so, really, you look at it as an individual more, but it's a huge testament to our team and UConn basketball. And I'm extremely grateful.
Paige, coming out in the second half, you had a great start to the second half with 8 straight points. KK had the 2 straight steals, and then you got the one and got the layup, and they caught the timeout. Was there anything that prompted that at halftime that you just needed to come out with more energy in the third quarter, or that did that just kind of like evolve naturally?
Yeah, I think Coach challenged us at halftime to set the tone, especially us three, defensively, and be more disciplined and knowing our scout, knowing our game plan, and just playing with an intensity and intentionality on defense, and knowing what we need to do. We wanted to get out in denial more, make it harder for them to get control of their offense because they're a great offensive team. It was definitely a focus coming out of halftime to get an extremely strong start to the second half because we didn't like how we played in the second quarter. So I thought we turned it on in the third quarter.
Aaliyah, how do you like the 4-guard lineup, and do you mind having pressure to get a lot of rebounds? And to follow Nika, what do you like about the 4-guard offense, especially the way the ball moves when you do have 4 guards out there?
I mean, whatever coach decides for the game, I think that it's a good decision. I think that us playing together, where I'm kind of more inside and helping, it focuses and challenges me on the defensive end just to be more communicative, as I mentioned earlier. But I think that we started off really strong and then brought back that same energy in the third quarter. But it helps us to be more aggressive, towards the game plan, and to play more into our passing lanes and to get more steals, which helped us win. So, yeah, I'm a fan of it. So.
Nika, do you feel like this was UConn's best game of the season, given the caliber of the opponent and the way the game kind of played out?
I feel like, yeah, it's definitely up there. I feel like, against Maryland, we had high energy. I feel like this game we had high energy, especially coming out of the half. That third quarter was probably the best quarter we played yet, and yeah, I feel like that was a good response. I don't think we had good third quarters lately, so just making that change, emphasizing that, I feel like that was really important for us.
Yeah, just a question for any of the players. You talked a lot about that third quarter. UNC was going 7 deep on the game. At any point, did you guys see the opponent kind of show some signs of fatigue, tiredness that you can pinpoint?
I mean, I wouldn't say we were necessarily focusing on what they're showing. I feel like we were feeding off of each other, not of, their fatigue or whatever it was. We knew that we were going to make a run and we were expecting them to make a run. But I feel like when they made their run, we didn't just keep, letting that run just go. We cut it and we punched them back, and yeah, I don't think we were focused on them as much as we were focused on each other.
Paige, I believe you played with and against Lexi in AAU. Can you talk about that matchup? She made you make a lot of tough shots tonight.
Yeah, she's a great player on both sides of the floor. She's really pesky and gets in the passing lanes and trying to be my main defense. Yeah, growing up against her, she's a great offensive player as well. It's a great shot, great pull up. And it's fun to compete against people you know and people you kind of grew up with, playing with or against. But yeah, she's a great player.
Now we're covered with the next. Aaliyah mentioned this earlier, but Paige career had 4 blocks. Is there anything different, extra bounciness in your shoes, and then for Aaliyah, Nika, what was it, seeing her blocking shots, which is something she really does?
Well, I've never worn shooting sleeves before, but I'm going to continue to do that. So I think, honestly, I was just trying to get stops. Sort of felt like Aaliyah out there, she's got her shooting sleeves, a rim protector. But no, I think just, again, trying to create energy and passion from the defensive end, flying around. And maybe I get a little bit more of my legs under me. But yeah, I'm just trying to take care of some of the defensive end.
I thought it was fine. I
That's so true. I kind of vibe. So,
I mean, it's just incredible, 5 blocks. I remember running in transition and my guy was getting a layup and I just looked up and I saw Paige up there and blocking. It was incredible and I'm so proud of her and this is what she does, no surprises, nothing different. She was just, that shooting sleeve helped her a lot today, so keep wearing that. Yeah, I think that we just all gained energy and passion through her passion from her blocks. And I think it was more shocking passion and energy that we got, but we still hyped her up every time she did it.
Hey, this is T. Baker with the Next. This is for Nika or Paige. Noticed KK came out with a lot of energy in the second half, had a couple steals. Can you just talk about her growth and how you've supported her to kind of step into that confidence?
I mean, that's just what KK does, and she's our spark plug. Not even off the bench. Whenever she's in the game, she's our spark plug, and we put so much confidence in her, to do what she does every day, to bring energy, to bring that defensive pestiness that she has, and she never disappoints, and she has a huge role on this team, and it's amazing to see her growth every day.
For either Paige or Nika, with Carl talking about how the transition is going to a 4-guard lineup, could you speak to the support that you give Aaliyah or whoever is playing the post in terms of closing down defense possessions, making sure you go one and done, and as guards try to help on the boards?
Yeah, there was a huge emphasis in practice this week on 5 guys rebounding, not just leaving Aaliyah out there to dry. And especially too, obviously the lineup is a shorter lineup, so we kind of have to rebound as a team and make sure that all 5 guys are boxed down and getting our own guy. Even sometimes just if our guy's not crashing, then we're going to get in there and help you with rebounding anyway. So huge emphasis on that. Honestly, with every single lineup that we have, we're probably going to be more undersized. So boxing out rebounding is a huge emphasis for us.
Thank you, guys. I asked Paige about this, and I'm curious what your thoughts are as well. You obviously are figuring out what and how you want Paige to be for this team, offensively in particular. I know it's opponent specific, but just more generally, do you feel like you guys are closer to / found what you want her to be game in, game out in terms of the decisions that she's making, the role that she's playing?
I would say that there are times when it looks like we have figured out a little more, but it's something I've talked about. It's a real struggle to sustain any kind of momentum, even within a quarter or within the game. We're either having a dynamite quarter where everything's flowing and it looks like we have a handle on what's going on, but we're not completely there yet on how to seamlessly incorporate all the other people with the way she wants to play, with the way Paige wants to play. And I don't know when that will be 100% like I like it. I think right now we just have to, go with what we've got and hope that every game we can get more contributions from more people. One of Paige's strengths is making other players better. And right now that's not happening as much as I would like to see happen. She's making herself better, which is great, but there's not enough flow in our offense that she can make plays for other people. That's not there. And I hope that we can get closer to that.
And just the only other thing, it's on a different topic, but Tara Vanderveer is 7 wins from 1,200, 9 from passing coach K. You're, I think, the only person who can speak to this, what that magnitude of that number is, and just what it means to be able to coach to that level of success. Just if you can take me through what you think that number means specifically in a coaching context.
Anybody who is capable of putting up those kind of numbers has obviously benefited from longevity and being consistent. I don't know any coaches that have been able to reach these kinds of milestones that haven't been incredibly consistent, that there's very little variance from year to year to year to year, where you can expect certain things from your team, and I think that's probably the one thing that when you look at Tara's career, Ohio State or Stanford, there's a style of play that they have, and it hasn't changed, and she's been immensely successful, and it obviously is not an easy thing to do, especially in today's day and age and the world that we live in today. So I'm sure she'll be happy when she gets to 1,200. I don't think she'll ever see 1,300, but that's probably not a bad thing.
Hey, Geno, good to see you. You've been in this tournament a lot, or the showcase. I think it's the 10th anniversary of it. I don't remember one being this strong with 16 that are this good. And just talk about how it's grown in the time since you've been in it, and just how it's, I think, good for the sport having showcases, it seems, every Sunday of really good basketball teams playing each other.
I could be wrong, but I remember it starting with, we would play a game here. Then I think it went to, it became 2 games. And I think the first time that it's been 6 teams. Okay? So it's probably the natural progression of, hey, this is really working, let's keep adding. I don't know where it goes from there, but everything that the Hall of Fame has tried to do so far has been successful. And the teams that they bring in are incredibly competitive, and certainly today was no different, than the games that were played today. And this early in the season, in November, where I don't know, the women's basketball is at the forefront of people's mind with what's going on, through the whole college thing, through the NFL thing, and I do believe you have to make some statements and some splash where people will pay attention right away and remind them that basketball season's here. I think the guys have been doing it for a long time, and they've been doing it very successfully. So I think it's appropriate that we follow suit, and we couldn't do it without the Hall of Fame, investing in this event. And the fans obviously are tremendous. They come out. So you got to pick the right place, and you got to pick the right teams, and they seem to have gotten it right.
Paige talked about maybe not putting so much pressure on yourself, or maybe not overthinking, and just getting back to having fun playing basketball. Did you talk to her about that, or did you see evidence of that today, that she's been a little bit more free and easy out there than she's been?
I thought Paige today was a little more vocal, a little more forceful with what she wanted. I thought she was more engaged defensively, and she made some big plays defensively, and I would like to see her not have to get 25 or 30 every night. But the reality of the situation is sometimes that's the way it's going to have to be. Somebody told me yesterday that, you know, this could be like our 2014, you know, when we started 2 freshmen and D was the only holdover from the previous championship team. And little by little, they all started coming along, and it made life easier for D. But there are some games where it's just going to have to be, where she has to do a lot more than I would want her to have to do, but it's just the way it is. We have to find a way to get more people consistently engaged around her. If she's not getting enough assists, that means we're not doing a good job moving without the ball, because she would find you if we are, and that's been a serious problem for this team for quite some time now.
Yahoo Sports. Nika shot the ball well tonight. Just what did you like about her performance, and how important will that be going forward?
No, the way people play Nika is pretty much try to keep her out of the lane, don't let her create for anybody else. So they're going to give her those shots, and that's part of what I'm talking about. That takes a lot of the pressure off of Paige, or off of, you know, without AZ and Caroline. You're saying, well, I don't know how many threes we took today, 17. It's not a good enough number for us. You know, we made 8 of them. I think we have to spread that around. We have to get more people making those. And she's one of the ones that I want to take more of them and make more of them. You know, and she has to be a facilitator for ball movement. You know, our two guards had 11 turnovers today. You know, so I don't know what that is. A forced thing, we're forcing things, we're trying too hard to make things happen, or there's not the kind of flow that we want yet. And as that starts to happen, I think there'll be more opportunities for her and KK to get shots up.
Geno, I know you've talked pretty much all season long about how the defense is going to be up and down, but what did you like from what you saw from them today? I guess second quarter maybe wasn't what you were hoping for, but against a team that's physical like UNC, what did you do?
Yeah, you look at our season, and you look at the quarters breakdown, and there's no consistency to it. It looks like a graph like this. And most of it is tied into our defense, you know, how good our defense. The first quarter, our defense was really, really good. And the second quarter was lousy. And why was it lousy? Well, our offense was lousy. So when you're not running any good offense, your defense is going to be lousy. And then the third quarter, our defense was great, and our offense was creating things. So if our defense can stay consistent and create enough turnovers to get us transition baskets, that's the way we have to play. I think that's the way this team can be the most successful. You know, grinding it out in the half-court set, not exactly the best idea for us. Even though I thought we got a bunch of good sets, you know, in the third quarter with Aaliyah. But yeah, it's a struggle, no question about it. And I hope that we can find it.
Geno, just wanted to ask about Courtney was saying in her press conference, you guys shared a word before the game about just the injuries to both teams and how much of a different game we would have watched had both teams been fully healthy. Just tell me a little bit about what you guys talked about, and how do you think the lack of depth on both sides played out today?
Anytime you're missing players, it's an issue. But when you're missing, really significant, impactful starters, it really has an effect on your team. And we talked about how every coach in America is dealing with this. You just hear about it more in Connecticut because of our profile and who these people are. And at Carolina, you don't hear about as much of it nationally. But every coach has gone through this all over the country. I wish I had, we talked about, I wish coaches had an answer for why, but we don't. And unfortunately, the teams that you think you're going to be watching next week, next month, 2 months from now, may not look at all like they look today. And that's just part of the game right now. It's a big part of the game right now.
Nika mentioned that the communication was high today. Did you also
Communication was what?
High. It was really good today. Did you also notice that? How important
Not
is
between
that?
me and her. It wasn't.
How important is that to building consistency on the court?
As I said, you can tell each quarter by looking at our stats, and even though the stats aren't always true, you can tell by what kind of communication we have, by how many points we score each quarter. So, yeah, our communication was great in the third quarter, and not so great in the fourth quarter. And if you want to be a really good team, that obviously can't happen on a regular basis. So I do believe with all my heart that God bless these kids. They have a lot of great qualities, not just my team, but I'm sure every team, they have a lot of great qualities. Communicating with each other is not one of them. And it's frustrating as hell, to be honest with you. And it makes coaching hard as hell. And it's an epidemic right now among college athletes. And hopefully, we can find a cure for it.
The four-guard offense, you see ball seem to move really well with it today. And of course, with that comes the rebounding issues. What's your mix and match? And would you prefer to play it more? You're hoping maybe Aubrey can get that consistency she needs to play that spot. How are you looking at the lineups for the team?
Well, we have to win the math battle, right? So they're probably going to get more rebounds than we are. We have to force more turnovers. We scored 15 more points from the three-point line than they did. And 3 more from the free throw line. That's 18-point differential between how many free throws we made and how many threes we made. So if we can win that battle on a regular basis, I think we can stay with that small lineup. If we can generate more quickness and more aggressiveness offensively and defensively, because we have more ways to play with that small lineup, then we can stay with it. I don't know that we can stay with it for 40 minutes every night, and I don't intend to. But knowing that we can do that, we need to be able to, I think, kind of mix and match as there are certain lineups that we have on the floor that are god awful, and sometimes you have to have them out there, and we couldn't win any games with that lineup. And there's certain lineups that are going to look great, and it's going to flow, and the defense is going to work, the offense is going to work, the ball's going to move. it's another one that I don't have the answer to.
Hey, Geno. Coming out of halftime, you guys got off to a great start in the third quarter. Did you urge them at halftime to play, tougher defense, or they got off to a great start with KK with a couple steals, and then you made them call a timeout?
I didn't really say much at halftime. I'm learning that talking doesn't really accomplish anything. At some point, the players realize we have to pick up the intensity level defensively if we want to win tonight. We have to create if we want to win tonight. And you know what? That stuff is hard. So what you're asking them to do is really, really, really hard. And doing hard things on a regular basis, consistent basis. It's a challenge, to say the least. So that third quarter, they were inspired. Not by me, but something inspired them, whatever that was. So, there you have it. It's the best I can help you with.
Coach, speaking of the guard lineup, you brought Tanya Cardozo back to your staff this season, and she's had a chance to be a head coach elsewhere. She was part of that 2004 coaching staff. Can you just talk about what she brings to the bench and how she's helped develop the guards this season?
Tanya now gives us 3 of our 4 assistants that have been head coaches. And CB might as well have been, with all the games that she's coached here. I think once you've been a head coach and you come back to be an assistant, I think you have a different perspective on what your role is and how you can help the team and how you can help the players. Tanya's a great teacher of the game. She has tremendous rapport with the players. To me, that's what makes her so valuable, and that's what players need. They need coaches that can connect with them and work with them, and once the players know, hey, coach can make me better. I think that's the ultimate for a coach. When a kid believes in you that they can make you better, and Tanya has the ability to do that. So I'm really thrilled to have her back. But 3 head coaches, that means there's 3 more chiefs in the kitchen. Which I don't mind, because they're wrong too, so it doesn't matter.